Netgear and at Wi-Fi into speedy internet for your laptops, tablets, and even wired PCs. It's called the Netgear Nighthawk M6 Pro, and at $459.99, it ain't cheap. But it's a leap over its predecessors in practically every way. Not only is it one of the first hotspots with both actually useful C-band 5G frequencies and speedy but spotty mmWave, but also at wireless transfer speeds. It's also got a 2.5 gigabits per second Ethernet jack for wired gadgets, where its predecessor maxed out at gigabit wired speeds. Oh, and it's got a USB 3.2 Type-C port for charging and tethering, a pair of external TS9 antenna connectors if you want to boost its reception, and a chunky 5040 mAh removable battery beneath that 2.8-inch touchscreen. Mind you, you're not going to be using all that goodness at the same time. Out of the box, the M6 Pro is set to 5 GHz only mode, which tops out at 2.9 gigabits per second, not 3.6 gigabits per second, in order to reduce power consumption and extend the battery life. Not that you'd necessarily find a 3.6 gigabits per second 5G internet connection in the wild. Even if you're using mmWave, the 2.5 gigabits per second Ethernet port is also disabled by default for the same reason, and you can only turn it on after you remove the router battery pack and plug it into an AC adapter. And, despite those battery-saving techniques, Netgear is only quoting 6 hours of YouTube playback, and a few hours of idle, from the M6 Pro, down from 9 hours of YouTube with its predecessor. If you max out the speed with mmWave and 6 GHz Wi-Fi 6E, battery life might be even shorter. You should also know that while the mini router can support up to 32 devices over Wi-Fi, you can only use 2 of its 3 Wi-Fi bands at once, either 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz or 2.4 GHz and 6 GHz, in addition to the 5 GHz and 6 GHz standalone modes. Still, that's a heck of a lot of routing for a half-pound puck. Someday, I'm going to host an entire LAN party with one of these and see if anyone notices. Here's the list of bands that the M6 Pro supports, in case you're curious. Note that, according to the user manual, PDF, the hotspot won't actually differentiate between mmWave and C-band 5G. Both will show up as 5G Plus on the hotspot screen, both at Epic Head Fake. Related, 5G's false start is over and the iPhone SE proves it. Google won't give old Pixels the best 5G, even though it admits it could. 5G analysis shows C-band is helping Verizon, but it and at recommended by